everybody? It's Doc back in the house again. Glad to be here on this Thursday night. Let's put a little light on the situation here. There we go. Okay, here we go. Thursday night book study. We're talking about 48 Laws of Power, and we're on chapter, what is this, 27. So we're more than halfway through the book. 48 laws, halfway is 24. So we knocked out a whole bunch of them, and we're almost there. So we'll be looking for the next book in the series, the next thing to start studying. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and post something in the group, send me a message or an email, and we can look at possibly studying that book next. We haven't solidified anything yet, but we'll be getting there soon. Jason's Alliance is out today. Hopefully he'll be able to make it back in time, but if not, then the show must go on, and we'll keep on going on. A few housekeeping things. If you're out there watching and you want to join in and be part of what we got going on here, you want to say your 2 cents about the book, and you want to get on and say it, just go ahead and click that first link up above. It'll shoot you right here to my green room, and you can just come on up, say what you got to say, and we can study this book together. Next thing is that on Saturdays at 11, we usually do our Saturday talk with Doc and the Lion. So stay tuned for that. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into what we're doing. Let's go. Let's learn something. That's why we're here. All right, I'm gonna do this a little different because I'm gonna go ahead and share what I got going on here. Where am I at? There we go. 48 Laws of Power. So let me add that in. Okay, there we go. This is my copy, and these are all my little notes. So we're going to get on and we're going to talk about this thing. Matter of fact, let me move me off to the side. There you go. Now you can see it a little better. All right, Law 27. Play on people's need to create a cult-like following. Okay, now when I read this, this book is written in such a way. To me, this is when I started to realize that it's more of a satirical type book. Because the way that this is written, it's like, okay, if you want to do this, first do this thing, then do that thing. And if you saw that, you would think that this is a handbook for evil, like a lot of the other people did. And the reason why I don't think that is so, because the structure of this particular chapter does not match the structure of the other ones. So if it was truly a handbook for narcissists and evil people, they all would have straight up, they would be structured the same. And this is not structured the same. So let's jump in it. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Now look at this. People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. Keep your words vague but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. Give your new disciples rituals to perform. Ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. And I circled this other part down here because to me that's special. It says, in the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief system will bring you untold power. Now, this is what people do. They start these cult-like things to get power. And organized religion doesn't allow for this to happen. That's why they say in the absence of it. So we do all look for something to believe in, and we got to have something to believe in, because that's how we wired as humans. So look at this here. Science of Charlatanism, how to create a cult in 5 easy steps. Now, if that's not a hook, I don't know what is. That's going to tell us how they did it, how they plan on doing it. 5 easy steps to create a cult. To me, if I was writing this and I said that, I would take the things that I saw people and cult like situations do. And then I would, make it like this. So look at this thing here. Having large followers opens up all sorts of possibilities for deception. Not only will your followers worship you, they will defend you from your enemies and will voluntarily take on the work of enticing others to join your fledgling cult. This kind of power will lift you to another realm. You will no longer have to struggle or use subterfuge to enforce your will. You are adored and can do no wrong. Now, this is everywhere. There's a line in here where he says it's in art, it's in music, it's in, everywhere. Lots of people do this. Now, I would say, even if you have a large following, and sometimes this happens like organically, it just happens to folks. And then other times they intentionally do it. For example, I'm going to say Michael Jackson. If you go back and watch the old videos of Michael Jackson, what you will see is that when people talk about Mike, you can't say nothing bad about Mike because they will kill you over Mike. They will be on it and ready to get you done in. More recently, another thing, and this might be unpopular, but even, Black Lives Matter, same thing. Or on the other side, you can even say, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, but his is the same thing. The people that are really in and down for him, oh, they are ready to fight. But even the people that agree, will, go out and try to bring people in. Hey, watch this. You think this is right? This is right. Trying to share it and get it out there. So when people at that level, I think it just kind of organically happens. And some people or, businesses and stuff like that, they do that. They do it. They do it on purpose, though. Think about Walmart, what it used to be back in the day. You can tell people that Walmart wasn't a low price leader, even though sometimes it wasn't. But everybody believed that. So that's making a cult. All right. Right here, humans have a desperate need to believe in themselves or to believe in something, anything. And that's what makes people gullible. They want to believe in something. They want to have something that's bigger than them. So that way, if you throw something out there that's new to them, something that makes them, oh, okay. All right, let me go here. Let me go here. So look here, I'm gonna highlight this. Dangle in front of us some new calls, elixir, get rich scheme on the latest technological trend or artist movement, and we leap from the water as one to take the bait. What's the latest thing that's like a cult that people latched onto? Apple phones. You can't tell somebody who have Apple that they have the most superior device in the world. They are the only people that say, people who use Android need to switch. I mean, they are actively pursuing folks. It's a cult, like a cult, same thing. So, all right, look at this next part. Always in a rush to believe something, we will manufacture saints and face out of nothing. Do not let this gullibility go in the waste. Make yourself the object of worship. Make people form a cult around you. So that's what they do. This, remember, when Robert Greene wrote this, he was writing a letter to himself. Things that he observed over 20 years of being in LA or more. And this is what he tell him. Watch out, because this is what people are going to do. They're going to take advantage of the gullible people and get them to do all the dirty work. Make the people form a cult around you. Now look at this. I wrote this. I pretty much said, if they talk about themselves more, run. And that is the key. If they talk about themselves too much, it's time to run. And that's how you can tell the difference. Okay. Because they're looking to have you in a cult. So I'm going to skip all the way down here. And look at this part. The gimmicks of charlatans may seem quaint today, but there are thousands of charlatans among us all. And I didn't review this in the beginning, but a charlatan is a person like a snake oil salesman. They selling something. They got to convince people of something. That's what they do. And he said it right here. Modern day charlatans in all areas of life, business, fashion, politics, and art. They doing the same things. Nothing has changed. That's how I go. All right, let's get into these steps. Look, hold on. Let me get off that. Go ahead and turn my highlighter on here. Simply follow the 5 steps of cult making that our charlatan ancestors perfected over the years. So these are the things to look out for. When you see people doing these things, they might be getting you, they might be taking advantage of you like you're gullible. Something is going on. Here it is. Step 1. Keep it vague and keep it simple. And you got to get attention first. Out there saying when people want to start a cult, they got to get attention first. And how do they do that? Through their words. And here, your initial speeches and conversations and interviews must include 2 elements. On the one hand, a promise of something great and transformative, of something brand new, and then something of total vagueness. Like, we don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. It's going to be utopia. So, you get them on the end of feeling great, like, oh, we can accomplish something big, but you never have a clear plan for it. And this is how you know that you're being sucked into a cult-like state. Now look at this right here. To make your vagueness attractive, use the words of great resonance, but cloudy meaning. Something that's loud but don't mean nothing. Words full of heat and enthusiasm. Use fancy titles for simple things. And has all the use of numbers and the creation of new words for vague concepts. So it just got to seem like all kinds of new stuff. That's what they do. And then by the same token, try to make the subject of your cult new and fresh so that few will understand it. So they got some new ways to say things. I mean, I hate to say it, man, but even, during the past few years, one of the big things that was coming out is, all of the acronyms, the transgenderism stuff. And that came out of nowhere. But guess what they did? They used fancy titles for same old things. All right. All right, there we go. Hey, we all right, man. I'm glad you could stop by. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're talking about 48 Laws of Power. This is, I'm glad you reminded me, throw this up here. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. So this is what's happening. This is what people do. These are the steps. And let me go back and review real quick. So this book, a lot of people say that is narcissist Bible, that is a book of evil, that is teaching people how to do these things. And when I first read the book many, many years ago, I kind of thought the same thing, so I stopped. But then I came back to it. And as I started to read it and find out more about the author, what he's doing is this book is a letter to his younger self, way of advice. And if you look at it like that, he's telling his younger self what to look out for, what he can do to become successful, things like that. So in this chapter, to me, this is written in such a way where it's satire. He's not telling you to do these steps, but these are the steps that they observe. So like first, when they're making a cult, you keep it vague, keep it simple. And then I talked about them using these vague words for stuff. And I equated it to the whole transgenderism stuff, how they have these letters for things and they use pronouns and all of that. And I don't know. But if you look at it, that's the first step. So let's roll on down. Step 2, emphasize the visual and sensual over the intellectual. People have 2 brains. And now this is what I'm getting to. They have the lizard brain, which is more instinctual, is based off emotion, things like that. Then they have the other brain, the intellectual side that's full of logic and reason. So if people want to suck you in a cult, they get your emotions. They snag those emotions. They they have visual things and snag the emotions because they suck you in. Now, look at here. Once people begin to gather around you, two dangers will present themselves: boredom and skepticism. So with that, you have to keep it lively. So if you go into a place and you lined up with something and you notice that they're always trying to make you feel a certain way, but you don't get any substance out of it, this is what's happening. They're not stimulating the intellectual part because you will see that is the lie. All right. Step 3. Now this is the big one. Borrow from the forms of organized religion, the structure of the group. And this is one thing I did in this. Now, this is what you do after you get some people following you, some stuff going on. And look right here in green. Organized religions have long held unquestioned authority for large numbers of people and continue to do so in a supposedly secular age. So basically, what he's saying is that religion resonates with power. So if you can't beat them, join them. They set it up like a church. They set it up like a church. And whoever's at the top of the thing is the pastor. Then they have people under them like the deacons. And, it's like that. That's how the group is structured. Now you're getting organized. This is an organized cult. And this happened. And I mean, I'm going to say it again. You know who did this? Y'all know who did this. And if you don't know, I will say it. Black Lives Matter did this right here. They follow every single step. And it's at the point now where you can't say nothing against them or about them to certain people because they will go off and go to defend, just like Robert Greene said in step number 1. Now look at this. Create rituals for your followers. Organize them into a hierarchy and ranking them in grades of sanctity and giving them names and titles that resound with religious overtones. There you go. That's how these people make their cults look like the church. And then further down, he said, ask them for sacrifices that will fill your coffers and increase your power. Ask them for money and stuff. Now, using the example I said earlier, Black Lives Matter, and then guess what? They asked for money. They asked for stuff. They were full on into it. But even if you look at it, I mean, this week we were talking a lot about Kevin Samuels, but his thing kind of follow a lot of this too. I mean, I ain't saying that he bad, but it do follow this kind of stuff. And he was at the point here, which, all right, he didn't have like a hierarchy of people. The only thing you can probably say is that it was like Patreon or, moderators in the group or something. Maybe you can say that, but it's not like a hierarchy of people, and the people that were in the in group were more important than the people in the out group. But if you find yourself on something like that, man, that might be a cult, bro. It might be a cult. All right, here we go. Disguise your source of income because you structured it like a church and you're getting in money. But you can't seem like you're money hungry, but you like the money. So what it says here is what they do is that your followers want to believe that if they follow you, all sorts of good things will fall into their lap. So basically what they're saying is that the head of the cult, the head of the thing looks rich and they surround themselves with luxury. So there are living proof that it works. Like, oh, it worked for me. It can work for you. When in actuality, it ain't going to work for you. There were several cult-like things and church things where people would be giving their all to this. They would give everything they got. And the pastor or the person that's in charge would make it look like, hey, man, this thing is working. Look, I got the car. I got the clothes. I got all of this stuff. And when in actuality, it ain't the blessings that got them all that stuff. It's the people money. Uh-oh. But I ain't said that then. And look, 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 look. Now he said right here, I'm gonna put it in yellow. Never reveal that your wealth actually comes from your followers' pockets. Instead, make it seem to come from the truth of your methods. So, I mean, it's scams out there everywhere. That this is a part of it. Like the whole forex thing. You know, you get those messages on Instagram about forex. I don't even know what all that is right now. But what it is though is that the pictures that those people take, you know, they driving the fancy cars, they wearing the clothes, they making themselves look real big. But in actuality, all they doing is just this feasting off the money that they're getting from everybody else. And they telling people, oh, I got a system. This system can work. This is all you have to do. But that's not the way to go. All right, let's roll on down. Number 5, set up a us versus them dynamic. Yeah. You got to give the people something to hate. You know, like I said, we were talking yesterday, and we were talking about relationships between black men, black women, and what's changed. Why can't it work? And the one thing I said is that when two people have something to fight against together, they are like intertwined with one another. That's teamwork. But when you don't have something to fight against, then it's everybody for themselves. And that's what this is right here. You know, you got to have, they got to have something like a us versus them. And look, first, make sure your followers believe they are part of an exclusive club, unified by a bond of common goals. Then to strengthen this bond, manufacture the notion of a devious enemy out to ruin you. And then look at the bottom. If you have no enemies, invent one. Given a straw man to react against your followers with tighten and cohere. Okay, let's talk about this on 2 different levels. One, I do think even on a relationship tip, you know, men have manufactured an enemy, and it's a certain type of woman. And then women have manufactured an enemy, and it's a certain type of man. Or they say patriarchy and gynocracy or whatever. But if you're in a group and these things are happening, and that they're trying to get you against somebody, you know, us versus them, and you giving them money, and it's set up like a church with a hierarchy, you might be in a cult. You might be in a cult. So this, to me, I'm scrolling down because there was something at the bottom. This part here is like the stories in history that match up with what he was saying. Now, I'm not going to go through them because I thought that the steps were the most important thing. Now, you could go back and read it. And if you want to talk about it, hey, go ahead and drop a comment. And we'll do another one on it and we'll talk about it. But it's always stuff here about the stories. Now, here at the end, the charlatan achieves his great power by simply opening the possibility for men to believe what they already want to believe. Listen to that. The charlatan achieves his great power by simply opening a possibility for men to believe what they already want to believe. So if it's something people already thinking is true, all you have to do is just kind of go with it and saying the same thing. You unifying them. I mean, it happens on both ends. It happens on both ends. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, the feminist people, you know, they do this. And honestly, some of the people in Mansfield do this too. But, you know, they unite them against the thing. So this is something definitely very dangerous and treacherous to look out. And then here's the last part here. One reason to create a following is that a group is often easier to deceive than an individual. and turns over to you that much more power. So listen, this is what happens. When you're in a group, they keep each other in check. You don't have to do it. The group keeps the group in check with the beliefs. So watch out for that. So, this one's going to be a short one tonight. But that's what it is, man. So that's a cult. And these instructions was a way to look at this stuff, a different way to do it. You could it's built to protect you, to keep you from going into a cult, because it's easy to get sucked into something. It's very easy, especially if you feel in a certain way about a situation and you feeling that deep inside. Certain people can suck you in and take advantage of you. And next thing you know, you deep in it and you fighting for something that you really didn't, that you don't support. So, all right. I told you this one's going to be short. Chapter 27. Next week we'll hit up on 28. And on Saturday we'll be back with the Saturday talk. That's how we'll do it. So y'all know what it is. Oh, hold on. Before I even turn it off, let's go on this one. Yeah, they prey on them weak-minded. There you go. The weak-minded. And that's what this book is telling us about, how not to be. The whole book is really about self-control, self-mastery. And that's how you don't fall into that. So, and if y'all got any questions, anybody want to come up? All right, I won't turn off. I won't turn it off yet. Let's talk some more. I'm gonna throw the book back up there. I'm gonna throw it back up there. Let's go. So we're gonna share that screen, and I got this and that. We're gonna throw it back up there. All right, let's go ahead and look forward to the next. We usually do 2 chapters, but we're gonna go ahead and look at the next one. Law 28. Interaction with boldness. That's right, boy. Look at here. This thing, it's a little different to carry it by yourself when you got nobody to bounce stuff off of, nobody to kind of make you agitated. Oh man! But this is where we at. Law 28. Interaction with boldness. So that's how we gonna do it. We gonna do that next. And look, if you're unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistake you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold. No one honors the timid. That's a whole bunch right there. I mean, so if you're sure of something, what he's saying, what these folks do, they just jump in and do it. And even if they mess it up, it don't matter, because they still be big and bold like they did nothing wrong. There it is. All right. Oh, you back in the house. There you go, man. So enter it with boldness. Now, I didn't really dig into this, but you know what? Let's read it together. Let's do this thing. I'm gonna do some. There we go. Person got to have a strong foundation in there. Let's talk about that before I even go that far. Let's talk about them foundations. So they got to have a strong foundation in their own faith. If not, they'll get easily sucked in. Now, that's 100% true. But sometimes, what's happening now is that too many of us don't have the right foundation. The foundation ain't right. The foundation is built on sand. And the thing about sand is that you can take and put it in a container and pack it in, and it can seem like it's sturdy. But over time, that thing is going to leak out, and the foundation not there. And it's happening in so many different things. So many different things. I think that's why a lot of us are in the position we're in. On the religious front, I can really speak about that. That's why people are like doing stuff like burning sage and and doing all those things, you know. And if you believe in that, if you're out there, you believe in that, hey, you do you. You do what you want to do for you. But for me, as for me in my house, we don't do that. That's some of the witchcraft stuff. But the foundation ain't right. And that's when the people who criticize things, they don't understand what the foundation is. They compare it to their own foundation, which is not made of cinder blocks, it's made out of matchsticks. Because the man of folks get easily sucked in. And it says it in the beginning. So remember, in the beginning, we talked about I'm gonna go to it. He said, you know, find something that they already believe in and then make them a promise about it that is going to be better, that's going to follow them, they're going to be successful with it, and making the enemy. You catching somebody that's gullible, because that's what he's saying here. Gullible people get caught up, and they get caught up easily, and then they dress it up. Because he say, you know, right here, you know, keep it vague and keep it simple. He talked about making to make your vagueness attractive, use words of great resonance, but cloudy meaning. That within itself, great resonance, something that's loud, something they can chant, but don't really mean anything. It's the cloudy meaning. Man, that's crazy. But yeah, weak-minded folks. I know y'all saying that, the weak-minded, and that's for certain. So here's the question. How does someone, well, all right. It's a multifaceted question. So this is it. How does somebody who is weak-minded recognize that they are weak-minded? And then the second part, once you know that you're weak-minded, how do you become strong-minded? That's something to think about. How does someone know they're weak-minded? Now, in my opinion, it takes a catastrophic event for weak-minded people to realize that they're weak-minded. If you look at anything out there, any incident that happened, something big happened, and they don't understand why it happened. Yeah, it's hard. I'm telling you. But I think they don't get it. They don't understand why it happened. And then once they figure out, like, oh, man, I've been duped this whole time. Now, how do you overcome that? Now, to me, I think the only way to overcome weak-mindedness and build a strong mind, well, all right. The first thing you have to do is have a self-examination. You need to look at yourself so you can figure out who you are, what your values are, and what things you're trying to do for yourself. You got to do that first. Because it's just like a mechanic trying to fix a car without a manual. They might remember some things. Or better yet, I'm going to take the mechanic out, a regular person trying to fix a car with no manual. We don't know nothing, especially if ain't no YouTube. You can't do none of that. So, but you got to get to know yourself first. And then once you have a clear understanding of self, you can go in and look at the parts that do it. All right. Overcome. All right. So we got research, therapy, and talk to your elders. I'm agreeing with all that. I'm agreeing with all of that. I think that you can't do this alone. You can't do this part alone. You have to, I tell people, to any man, once you find yourself and you get to that point where you're trying to seek some knowledge and seek to find something different, you have to ally yourself with somebody else. Even if it's to the point of, it's a peer that's going through the same thing, and y'all talking and working through it, and it kind of branches out and you see the world clearly. So I guess that goes into research, therapy, and talking to elders. I mean, yeah, they've been there and done that. Um, and I think that's a good thing. I really do think that's a good thing for overcoming a weak mind. Um, so like, all right, what what's the question I want to ask? It's like talking about research. And I was telling a young man about this earlier today. When I got home, my next door neighbor was outside. And, I went to my mailbox. I put my window in the car down, reaching out. And then, he was sitting out there. Oh, hey, hold on, hold on. Y'all look at this. All right, the thing is, the elders are 40 years old these days. I'm telling you, it's, yeah. Or better yet, they may be of elder age, but they don't act like it. They don't act like it. They just as dumb as everybody else. I'm telling you, man, some ignorant folks out there. But these are the people that get sucked into this stuff. And he's telling me stop. Oh man, I see you, man. But all right, and look what Jamel said. Elder is anyone with wisdom to me. Now, see, that's a good thing. That's a good definition. Um, oh, and fellas, if y'all out there listening, you want to come up and we can talk over the airwaves. The link is in the description. You click it and you can come right on up here and we can talk. Or you can participate in the comments. That's all good too. But yeah, anyone with wisdom, because you know what? There are lots of times when people that are younger actually have wisdom about certain things. Because again, you can be old and dumb. You can definitely be old and dumb. So if y'all just tuning in, we were talking about 48 Laws of Power and Law 27 and its play on people's need to create a cult-like following. And this, I mean, look at this stuff. People do this all the time. I said in the beginning that companies do it through marketing, movements, they do it. The main culprit, to me, now I was saying the main, one of the biggest culprits people don't see is Black Lives Matter. Hey, I said it. I said it. People ain't gonna like it, but I said it. They do cult-like stuff. There we go. Sheeple are prevalent in society now. So here's another, Jamel. Here go an example I brought up earlier. Now that you said sheeple, people who use iPhones, that's a cult. That's a cult. Because, and if you are an iPhone user, I apologize to you, but I can name several ways that everything else is more more useful and better than an iPhone. The biggest thing they got going on is that the build quality is top notch. Build quality is top, and the way that the things work together is top. But other than that, nah. I want to be able to put my own files on my phone, hook it to my computer, do whatever I want to do with it. So yeah, but let's look at this thing. I'm gonna pull this back up, man. We're gonna, and because it won't be offensive, but we're gonna talk about how Apple is like a cult, and then you can put anything else in that. Well, hold on now. Simple, stable, and secure. That's it. I can't even say that secure. You know what I learned when I was studying security, and the thing about Apple is that with MacBooks, the reason why people feel like it's so secure is that the install base is small by comparison to PCs. So it seems like they're more secure and don't have that many hackers because relatively not that many people even have them. But look at this here though. All right. So he talks about let me go back. Let me go to the steps. So one, keep it vague and keep it simple. So in the beginning, that's what Steve Jobs did when he was talking about Apple. He was saying we have this device. People should be able to do this, and they should be able to live free and not have to touch devices. Now, if you want to bring it and make it more real, I said that the transgender type movement did the same thing when they talked about all of their stuff. Um, a lot of the feminist ideations did the same thing. And honestly, even in the manosphere, some of us do the same thing, do the exact same thing, keeping it vague, keep it simple. That's what they did. Look at step number 2. Emphasize the visual over the sensual, the visual and sensual over the intellectual. Apple did that big time because they made a phone, they made a device that looked a certain way. I read all right, I don't do much reading like that these days, but I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. And when Steve Jobs died, the guy, I can't remember his name, but he wrote his biography, and I read it or listened to it. And he was saying how when he wanted to put together the Mac computers and they was going to paint the case black, he said, no, paint the inside of the case. And the people didn't want to do it because nobody would see the inside of the case. But he had made them paint it anyway. That was one of those visual things. Now, was it a smart idea to do that? No. Because it costs way too much money. But again, this is what it says: sensual, visual over the intellectual. Oh, man. Look, there you go. They had another one. That was like a cult. Yep, because they had those hats. They had these sayings. Man, look at all this stuff. Oh, wait till you get to the next part. Look at step number 3. So step number 3. And again, the way that this book is written, I think this is satire. He's not saying, oh, follow these steps to get this. But this is the stuff that he saw over his 20 or 30 years in LA dealing with people. And he wrote this as a letter to himself. So, oh, yeah, nope. That is not like a cult. It is a cult. Oh, hold on. All right, I'll break out the sound effects. There it is. That is a cult. But look at this. Borrow forms of organized religion to structure the group. And the reason why they do that is because in organized religion, they have structure and they can run and have power over a whole bunch of people at one time. And they tell you how to do it. So look, if you look at it, hey, MAGA, they did that. They were structured like that. I mean, you can name almost anything that's structured right like that. And that's a cult. And then step 4, disguise the income. Now, see, this is the sneaky part here. Because part of them transforming themselves into a church or something like a church, that means that it's time to take up the collection, pass the collection plate. And that's what that's the next step. That's what these people do. They pass the collection plate. We need some money. So what do they do with that money? If they selling a system of how to do things, they use the money for themselves to make it seem like, hey, if you follow this is what you can get. We're well off. I mean, I keep hitting on Black Lives Matter because, oh man, that was the biggest scam ever. And them folks fell for it, and people still falling for it. And them ladies and went and bought $1 million homes and assets, all of that stuff. But you wouldn't know they got it from there. And I would say this too, even you talking about MAGA and the stuff with Trump and all of that. Well, what happened is this. Remember back when we had those tax cuts and they said, yeah, you can get a tax cut for all of the lower middle class people, get $2,000 or whatever. And people was happy about it. Like, look, Trump is helping us all. But the thing they wasn't getting is that he was tossing us crumbs and keeping the rest because they was getting those lifetime tax cuts for estate taxes and all of that. that's disguising the source of income. And guess who was paying for that stuff? All of us. And then number 5 here, set up a us versus them dynamic. Now, this is going back to the conversation that we had last night about how when Jay had asked about black women and black men being together and would it be too late? Well, the thing was, what I told him is that when two people, two factions, two families, two anything, when they have something to fight against, something to band together and fight against, then they are connected, unstoppable. But when that thing is no longer there, then it's everybody for themselves. So when you set up a us versus them, when they do that, that's where they suck you in. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I done told this a few times, but I still because I still don't believe this thing of how humans can band together and then break apart. Now, y'all know I'm teaching. And this particular year, I think this is about like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I was teaching fifth grade, teaching fifth grade. And my co-teacher was pregnant, so she went out spring break time. So that means I was with the class from spring break to the end of the school year. And they brought a long-term substitute in. So what they did is that the kids didn't like the substitute. None of them did. So they came up to me and said, "We don't like her. We getting rid of her. We gonna get rid of her. You ain't got nothing to worry about. We like you, but we gonna get rid of her." No lie. 3 days later, like that was a Tuesday. By Friday, that sub was gone. She was gone. They got rid of her. See what I'm saying? They banned even the kids who didn't like each other. They banded together because it was them versus the substitute. Even the people that don't act out or do something, they was in on it. So this is it. And I mean, all right, this is the big thing. Us versus them. It happens with the feminists because the men, patriarchy is the enemy. And some people abuse it in the manosphere because they say women the enemy. So if you ever find yourself getting sucked into that stuff, us versus them, you might be stepping too far, bro. You might be stepping too far. So, man, those are the quick things right there, man, how they did that. And if you look at the rest of the book here, they got observances of the law. This is where people actually did this stuff and it worked. And these are like examples from history. And it's a lot of them. It's a few of them in here. I didn't really go through these. I mean, we usually go through and we talk about them. But I think it was better to stay on the 5 things and talk about them. And look, I went over this earlier. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Okay, let's go. Yeah, the woman tell me that the church is a cult. Omega, Psi, Phi, Kappa, Delta is any fraternal sorority organization. And I don't agree with that. I think all those organizations are great. Heck, they're bad people and everything. Church, the Catholic Church, Christianity, your family, and the pulpit, the work, business. And that doesn't make it a cult. Most organizations are good, but most people don't understand. To me, cults are easy to get in, but hard to get out of. And that's just my opinion. Everybody have opinions. Some people may not agree with what I just said, but it's okay. I still love you. Bro, I still love you too. But now I will say this. According to this, the church couldn't be a cult because cults mimic churches. So they won't be a cult. So we can X that part out. Now, the other part here, I have my own feelings about the whole sorority and the fraternities. If you're in those and you love them, hey, that's good for you. But I got a personal problem with the secrets. I do. And I thought it wasn't real until I was with a friend, family friend. And what happened was this. It was his brother. And the two brothers, one was in the fraternity, the other one wasn't. And the brother had gotten a call or something, and he was starting to talk about it, and he stopped. And he was like, I can't tell you nothing about this. And not that it was fraternity business, but he was asking them questions about basic stuff. Like, all right, so what do y'all do? How do people get in? What happened back there? And you can't say nothing about it? Like, oh, it's a secret? I don't like secrets. That's me. That's why I never did it. If it's anything to do with a secret, I ain't, because if you got to hide it, I ain't with that. But again, if anybody out there, if you in it and you want to do it, hey, that's on you. Ain't got nothing to do with that. I still gonna love you. You still gonna be my friend regardless. I just won't ask you about your secrets because you won't tell me anyway. Hold on. Oh man, I was so nerdy. I had to give myself the horn. But yeah, man. I mean, I think people apply cult to a lot of stuff, but they don't understand what it is. Man, don't laugh at me, bro. Nah, just for that, I'm gonna do it again. Oh, and I give me the bomb. But I think that people these days, folks don't understand stuff. People don't understand things. And I think that folks, with the advent of social media and then the phones and internet, that everybody feels they are a scholar. And when they tell you to do your research, the thing that they leave out is credible sources. And the credible sources is, they think anything a credible source. For example, when they're talking about, and I mean, we was on this last night, so it's the first thing come to mind. If you're talking about black men and you use Madame Noir, something they wrote as a credible source, nah, bruh, that ain't gonna work. That's not a credible source. That's an increasingly biased source. The only credible sources out there are government documents and data and peer review journals, firsthand experiences. And those don't even go that far because they're firsthand. So when people say certain things are cults, now the thing is about those fraternities, sororities, and all that, I can see how people would think that it's a cult. I can see how they would. And is it? I don't know. Honestly, with most things, I believe that there are different levels to everything. For example, like at a high level, people may be doing dirt. They may be devil worshipers way up here, but then the regular people down at the bottom, they are fulfilling what the organization's supposed to be, and they just don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't know. And you know what? I love everybody. That's how I take it. And if you want to be in one of them things, or even more so getting it off of that and back to what we were talking about with the book, everything is choice. And what this book does is teaching you how to watch out for yourself so you don't get taken advantage of. That's the thing. You can't. And that's what it's teaching us. So, I mean, you got a choice. Because guess what? Even though you're a good man, everybody else out there not. The lesson I remember is that I was dating this girl one time, right? And this is where something has stuck with me, and I never ever forgot this. I guess she was mad about something, and we was talking, and then she was up there cussing and saying something else, and I said, "Hold on, nah, you got to stop that, because I ain't never said a curse word at you." And her response was, "But I'm cussing at you." That's when That's when he learned. Just because you think one way don't mean everybody else do. Just because you treat people some way don't mean they're going to treat you that way back. Now, needless to say, I ain't with that girl no more. She got put to the curb. So I am out. But that was long time ago. So anyway, man, if y'all got anything else, man, anything else y'all want to talk about? Oh, yeah, I surely did leave her. This was long when I was a teenager back then. And I'm here now. I then got married. I done been married almost 20 years. My daughter graduating this year. That's right. So we is out there. But yeah, I learned that lesson. I learned it. And I mean, that was a part of the self-evaluation. You know, we got to keep doing that. We got to keep doing that. All right. If y'all want to talk about something else, y'all throw it up in the comments, man. We can keep it going. If not, you know, we can get on out of here and then reconvene on Saturday. Oh, yeah, for sure. I tell you what, we can do that. I'll shoot you my number, or yeah, I'll shoot you my number. I'll give him a messenger. That's all good. I'm all good with talking with everybody, man. And honestly, what I have on my other channel, I got some YouTube channels out there. I mean, this is one of them. And I also have a channel called Better People, and it's just motivational stuff in the ministry, all of that. But I started interviewing some folks on there. And I mean, not about serious topics, but just about them, what they do. And where I got it from, you know, watching Dave Chappelle. And then I saw him at the end taking pictures with all these famous people. And I was like, well, man, he know a lot of famous people. He there with politicians, musicians, actresses, all of that. And I'm like, he talked to a lot of important folks. So guess what? I can talk to important folks too. Then I got thinking, like, I do know a lot of important people. Just because they're not famous or rich don't mean you're not important. Everybody is important. So I just want to talk to folks. And look at that, my boy right here, T. Man Patterson. He was the first one. If you check out his interview, it's on my channel. He is writing a children's book. Well, wrote a children's mid-teenage adolescent book. And he tested it out with kids and it's working. So, I mean, yeah, we can do that. But DDGM, I'm going to have to hit you up, man. I'll put that out to you. All right. Oh, there you go. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Celebrities are just people with good jobs. And then the job ain't really that good. They just get paid a lot of money. I always told these folks when I was growing up, I was like, I want to be rich, but I don't want to be famous. I would rather just be able to go out and do what I do, make all the money, and nobody know who I am. I can ride around a car with no tint on the window because they won't know it's me. And one thing, you know what? We as people, we place too much value on celebrities. Anytime something happens, we look at the celebrity. Why? Well, we know why. We know exactly why. But I mean, celebrities don't set the tone for regular life. But their life not regular. Here we go. He used to do security outside of a hot nightclub. And trust, they know better than anybody else. And that's 100% true. You know, seeing, I think last night I told y'all about how my wife had, you know, took me out to Charlotte and we did the, she had my name in the Jumbotron and all that. And going to Charlotte and talking to those folks, you know who they can't stand? Michael Jordan. They hate Michael Jordan. They say that he has the worst attitude ever. They can't stand him. And then after Kwame Brown went through his stuff and he was talking about it and it triangulated with what these people were saying and more people start saying it, Celebrities ain't automatic. Just because you rich don't mean you good. And that's the thing, man. That is the thing. They just regular folks. See? Yep, I remember Jay. You from Chicago? I forgot, but yeah, he loved the Bulls. I think a lot of people love them Bulls. But even on MJ, he like, I'm good on that. In actuality, I used to just love the shoes, but now I don't even like them no more because they cost too much. Do all that. Shoot, I'm a regular guy. I can't pay no $250 for a pair of shoes because I got to buy a couple different pairs. I better catch them on sale over at the Nike outlet for like $25. That's where I'm at, for real though. But yeah, man. Shoes up. Oh man. Shoes are another cult set to keep black people down. Yeah, because we deep in it. I mean, look at it. If you look at the steps, it's like a church. It's like a church. And the reselling game is just, it's ludicrous. It is ludicrous. These folks will go and buy up all the shoes and turn around and mark them up, 200 or 300%. So you can spend all your money on that. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I was in the cult. I was in it. When I was a teenager, shoot. Man, I had so many pairs of shoes. But that's a whole nother thing. That's another. I found out the reason why I did that. But I had like 30 pairs of shoes. I could wear a different pair of shoes every day and not wear the same pair twice in a month. Mm-hmm. But for me, that was it was a substitute. It was a substitute. Because I figured, my self-esteem was low when I was a teenager. That was real low. And I had my own reasons of why that was. It wasn't for the people in my house, but it was my surroundings and the other people around me. I got pushed down. So my self-esteem was low. So I figured that, okay, if I'm ugly, if I'm weird, and I got all this stuff, well, guess what? I can have stuff ain't nobody got. And then I can finish, so it filled in. So here we go. They set up shoes for us to waste our money on and non-equity assets. And we fell for it so hard that we actually made them have equity. Oh, boy. You're 100% true. Because nowadays, certain shoes do have equity. Certain shoes do. And again, that's that whole cult thing where you talked about getting in the money, bringing money in. And once they do that, that's it, man. Because, it's not an asset. And now the world is turning around. It's flipping. It's flipping. Even used cars are equity now. That's insane. I ain't never seen that before. A car worth more, a regular car worth more than it was when you first bought it. Yeah, they doing that. They definitely doing that. So, all right, fellas. Well, we done been in here about an hour. But I appreciate y'all coming in and doing all this stuff with me. We hit the book up. Oh, hold on. All the so-called cults are not bad. A classic car club, loving, following, having classic car, and being in a car club is a so-called cult, but it's not bad. But see, here's the thing. People, remember, like I said, with the people who don't understand, they think they're doing their research that don't fit the thing of a cult. And they say motorcycle clubs. I don't think that's a cult. Not at all. That's dumb. Because all they doing is just liking. You like what you like. If you like cars, you with other people who like cars. That's what I'm saying. That's not even the same. And people would try to say, you know what? This is why folks call things cults. They call stuff a cult because they don't understand it. Things they don't understand, and they say it in a. All right, hold on. Jamel, I'm going to come back to that. Backhanded compliments. That's what they doing. They do backhanded stuff. They're trying to say something a cult as a way to dismiss. It's like calling a man gay, trying to dismiss it. And oh, it's a cult. I'm in a motorcycle club, so it's a cult. Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you what else the cult. The TVs y'all watching. Y'all sitting there watching all this reality TV. That's a cult because y'all be there every week. Or even more so, if it's a dude that's doing it and he love the Cowboys, and guess what? That's a cult too. Let's talk about that. I'm telling you, man, this is stupid. But look at this. Clubs are a community or a hobby. Nothing wrong with having hobbies. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, nah, I'm with you. We know that's what people say. Hey, he said he's just saying what people say, but not me. Oh, I knew that. I knew that. But see, that's for the people who can watch this later. And they'll know. Now over here, you know what? Cars, shoes, and jewelry have vanquished my black equity more than anything else. You know what? No lie. No lie. That's one thing a quota have you doing. That'll have you spending your money and they taking it in and they keeping it. Buying cars, shoes, and jewelry. It's time for something different. I guess as you get older, you finally start to see it, but I wish I could have saved money for all them Jordans I bought. Maybe bought some more stock with it. But yeah, you're right, man. You know, misuse. When we was talking about people misuse cults, you know, they do. They wouldn't know. Matter of fact, the thing is, a real cult, they wouldn't even know it. You would be deep in it and won't know. Won't know at all. But like I said, if you find them talking about themselves more and they doing all that, nah. There we go. Classic cars, motorcycles, multiple big aquariums. Hey, you see mine back here. It's nothing in it yet. I think I'm gonna salt water it, but I got a few things I'm gonna add to it once I get my temperature regulated in my garage here. But all those are local, all she's in all those local clubs, and it's all good. Yep, not a cult. You know, folks, man, I'm telling you, man, people try to seek ways to destroy somebody else. They try to seek ways to destroy somebody else. And the best way to do that is to call something that they're into something negative. And they know they're trying to get a rise at you because you're going to raise to defend it. But look at here. Let's be real. A cult is a parasitic club with corrupt leadership. Yeah, man. Hold on. I had to find it. I got the soundboard. The stuff is all over the place. But yeah, parasitic club with corrupt leadership. And the thing about that is this. The adjectives in that word is what separates it from other stuff. The parasitic part. And here, when in step 4, when he said describes your source of income, that's the parasitic part. Corrupt leadership. Those are the things. But being in a regular club with other folks, man, forget that. And them people who's calling that a cult don't want to do it. I don't know. And I know earlier we was talking about the sororities and fraternities, but I'll tell you what, I don't know much about them, so I can't call them that. But oh, I hear you, man. All right. He said he got to shut up. So he going back to work. He got patients to save. And the hospital needed service. So we'll talk to y'all later. All right, bro. We'll see you, man. We'll be back Saturday morning. Or if you ever want to come on and want us to talk about a topic, let us know. You're always welcome, bro. Always. Oh, man. Jay Sims just hit me up. He did a long shift today. And he might come on. No problem, man. Oh, I thought he was in hair and makeup. There we go. All right, there's no problem. He might come on. I don't know. He can if he wanna. But yeah, man, this whole thing with this cult, and you know, I'm still out on the sororities and the fraternities like I said, I don't like the secretiveness of it. It just don't that never was me. So, but again, everybody's free to do what they want. And if that's what you want to do, hey, roll with it, bro. Roll with it. Because at the end of the day, I don't have to answer for you. I don't have to answer for where your money go. I don't have to answer to God for what you do or you don't do. That's up to you. So, all right. Well, we'll give this another minute or two. Maybe Jay Sims the line to jump on. Now watch, as soon as I shut it down, then he gonna be popping up in there talking about good morning. Oh man, don't tell him I said that. Oh man. All right. All right, y'all. So I guess this is gonna be it, man. We're gonna shut it down. We're gonna shut it down, and then Saturday we're gonna get up and we're gonna talk about some good stuff. I don't know the topic. Oh, we do have a topic. This Saturday. Well, we might do it, but a girlfriend is cool, but what's the plan? You know, Jay Sims and I talked after the show last night, and you know, we was talking about doing some family type stuff, you know, bringing families together, some other man type stuff. So these people out here with saying I got a girl and this and that. So what's gonna be the plan for it? What you gonna do? So we may end up talking about that on Saturday, or maybe some other news story or something positive. I don't know. And then at the end, we'll do a lightning round where we just, you know, do like some little motivational speaking. You know, I play a little song or a little beat and we just talk over it, man. It's fun. So if y'all want to come in and be a part of that, Saturday morning, we'll be here. And if not, you know, we'll see y'all next time. So I'm playing the outro music now. I'm going for real this time, unless y'all type another comment up there, because if you do that, then I got to stay on and we got to keep rolling. Well, anyway, man, I love y'all. Remember, you know, I love you. God loves you. See y'all on Saturday. And, you know, I'm out. So peace, y'all. Later.